Yeah, afternoon, everyone. Just going to do a video. It's not a real story today, it's just a chat about prison and going to work. You have to work in there if you're convicted. And if you don't work, when they come round and unlock you for work, you have to either put in a sick note like you do out here. You have to go down the healthcare, and everything's applications. You have to put an app to go to the healthcare, and then you go to the healthcare, and then they'd say whether you can be off work or not. I mean, technically you don't have to go to work, but you'd be on basic, which is basically like being down the segregation but on the wing. You're not unlocked when everyone else is unlocked. You're locked up. So when you're on basic, it's basically 23 hours a day bang up, and that other hour would be the few minutes that you're let out in the morning, lunchtime, and in the evening for your meals. And other than that, you don't get anything, and possibly no canteen as well, so you won't get any baccy or any vapes. But some people, they don't mind that, the 24-hour bang up. For me, I like to get out of the cell now and again, and go to work and that. I mean, I've had loads of different jobs in there. When I was at Belmarsh, it was the workshops there. I was in the workshops there, but also I was the free flow cleaner, when the walkways in the prison, going to and from the workshops or to and from visits, I'd clean those walkways, sweep up and all that. And the reason I got that job is because I could see who was going in and out on visits and who was going where, and pass messages for people and get things from one wing and take it to another wing. So that's the main reason I was doing that job, for extra income, so I could get around the prison and stuff like that, But I was still a B cat. I wasn't a D cat or anything, but I wasn't allowed outside the prison or into reception area or something like that, and I still had to wait for a screw to get in and out of the wing, But I couldn't go on to other wings, but I could go to the entrance of other wings and stuff like that, And like I say, free flow was the time when unlock would have been in the morning and all the prisoners are going to their various workplaces. So it's quite chaotic, on free flow. And that is the time when you see a lot of attacks, because there'd be a crowd there, and if you wanted to juke anyone, if you wanted to stab anyone, you could do it without necessarily getting caught, even though there's cameras. But you'd have the smother from all the other comms and that, and obviously if you're going to do someone, and you're going to wet them or something, you're going to hurt them bad, you want to cause a little distraction so you don't get caught. But like I say, Belmarsh, it was maximum security, so there's a lot of cameras everywhere, And even so, when I first went there, more of the prison was still being built. It wasn't even finished when I was first there. So I think when it first opened, because it was so new, it was a bit of a holiday camp. But that soon changed, and it became notorious, and it still is, I think. Yeah, it depends who's running it. Some prisons, it seems like the screws are running it, and some other prisons it seems like the cons are running it. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, what was we talking about? Jobs in prison. Yeah, so I used to do a lot of courses as well. I mean, with the old computers, the internet came in the 90s. I started hearing about the internet, and I did a computer course in Belmarsh, IT course, completed that and got a certificate, even though I've lost my certificates. What else did I do? I done the cookery course, which was good. That was in Highdown. And to get the certificate, first of all, to do the cookery course, you have to do your health and hygiene, which I had that. These certificates last for 5 years, but that's quite straightforward, the health and hygiene. So I succeeded in getting that. And after that, I done the cookery course. And one of the exam situations was I had to do a 3-course meal for the lady that was running the course. So it was really good, This was in Highdown, and they got a restaurant there now, actual working restaurant, and some of the chefs are ex-inmates and stuff. It's been on telly, called the Clink restaurant at Highdown. That wasn't there when I was in there, but yeah, I remember doing the cookery course. It was really good, you know, and cooking the free course meal for the teacher, the lady. That was really nice, just me and her. Yeah, and there's a set menu sort of thing. There's a few different things you can cook with the ingredients, but I think I did a stuffed marrow, you know, with mince in the marrow, and it was nice, yeah, if I remember. And I think the dessert, I baked a little cake, you know, and it was good. And I passed and got my certificate. And another course, I used to like going on the courses. You know, a lot of them were run by women, and you know, you don't see a lot of women. Well, you do, a lot of women are screws now, but when I first started doing my bird, seeing female screws was rare unless you went visiting to Holloway or somewhere, you know. So, but now, and obviously from the late 90s onwards, you know, there's just as many women, seems to be, not quite as many, there's a lot more women screws now than what there was. But yeah, so I done the needlework course, and I remember that reminds me of something about the needlework course. Yeah, I was on the needlework course in Highdown this time. I remember Big Dave Downs was in there, the blagger from Brixton, South London, top geezer, always sorting me out, Dave. And I remember he tore his jacket. He had this nice new jacket on, because we could wear our own clothes then in Belmarsh, and he'd torn it. And basically, you know, this is what it's like in there. I remember he asked me if I could take his jacket down to the needlework workshop where I was on, and sew it up for him. And I said, yeah, no problem. And he said to me, yeah, and I'll sort you something out. But I remember when I was taking the jacket down from my house, but my wing, down to the workshops where the sewing class was, the needlework class. Yeah, and it was needlework as well. How ironic is that with me, and you know what my history's like with needles. But anyway, yeah. So I'm taking his jacket down there, and it's like people can see it's his jacket, and they're all thinking, what's he doing with his jacket? And you know, it's all gossip, and oh look, you're doing that now, you're sewing this other geezer's jacket up for him, and all, you know, it's all like a lot of gossip in there, and why is he doing that, and oh, he must be getting something out of it, and all that, which I was. So yeah, basically I took his jacket down to the needlework, and I spoke to the lady that was running it, who's a friend of the woman that was on the cookery, and she done it for me, a really good job, done it straight away. So after the 2 hours of morning workshop, or well, I was in the needlework, I took his jacket back and said, there you go mate, there you go Dave, all sewn up now, because it's a brand new jacket, you know, just a tiny little tear. And he's gone, here, give me a couple of bags, you know, one £10 bag of brown and a £10 stone, you know. So yeah, sweet as a nut. That was me sorted for the day, you know. So yeah, but for some reason, me doing things like that gives certain other people the ump in there, but I don't know why. I've always been like that. I seem to be a bit like Marmite. You either like me or you don't, you know. There doesn't seem to be much in between with me, but it's always been the case. But anyway, yeah, just a quick story about some of the jobs I was doing in there. But like I say, in Downview I was painting the cells, High Point, I was doing a painting and decorating course. I've got plenty more stories about all that sort of stuff, but in Belmarsh, the main job I was doing the light fittings in the workshops. Totally boring job, but at least you get to chat to people on it from the other wings and all that sort of stuff, you know. Do a little bit of trade, and yeah, and talk to friends. So there, you know, the money, well, back then the wages for working in the workshops 5 days a week would be about 5 hours a day you was there, would be about, I don't know, about £3 or £4, just enough to buy half ounce of tobacco. So you'd work all week for that. And they did used to make a profit out of all those light fittings. So yeah, that's a quick one, guys, really. Just not really a story today, just a little chat and a little catch up with you guys. And yeah, speak to you all soon. Thanks a lot, guys.